Hello, Avis. If you are watching, I see there's about 10, 11, 12 people on. If you're watching, please do comment so I know who's here this evening. It's always fun to see who's here. And maybe tell us where you're watching from. I always think that's kind of interesting too, to see who pops on, and sometimes people will say, oh, I live in the same state or whatever. Okay. We'll just wait a few more seconds. Lots of people are getting on. I see Louisiana, Kansas, West Virginia, Ohio. Thanks to all of you who have shared already. I appreciate that, as always. When you share, oh, there's Virginia. When you share, I take that as a great compliment that you are referring me. You like what you see when you're here, and you're referring me to others for them to watch. Minnesota, Rhode Island, Massachusetts. Oh, you guys, great. I'm excited. Okay. Well, welcome everybody to Stampin' Peace with Mary Knabe. A couple of reminders. I've been a little bit out of touch with being gone. I haven't been on a Facebook Live since a week ago Monday because I was traveling. Went to Florida to see my upline, and together we did the virtual on stage at home event, which was a lot of fun. So yeah, I feel like I'm a little bit out of my rhythm. But anyways, we're gonna have a great time tonight. I've got a fun project to show you, but I first of all want to share with you two reminders. The first is that we have our seasonal sale happening right now. It started yesterday, it ends tomorrow. It's a 3-day only sale ending November 18th, 2021. So you don't want to put it off. We have 10% off of all our individual Stampin' Up! Classic stamp pads in all of our, 48, 50 colors, something like that. And then we have 15% off, nope, I said that wrong. 10% off cardstock packs, okay? 10% off cardstock packs, 15% off ink pads. And then we have 20% off the dies in the annual catalog. We also, in addition to that seasonal sale, we also have our Start with Savings joining promotion. And can you see my shirt here? Let me stand up a little bit. Do what you love what you do. And honestly, that's what I get to do every day with this job. It's so rewarding, so exciting. But you can join my team and you don't have to work it as a business. There is no worries about that at all. Many of the people on my team are what I like to call savvy shoppers. They are in it for the discount. And I don't know if you've noticed, but it seems to be prices are going up everywhere. I did some grocery shopping today and I thought, oh, I only have 3 bags for that amount. Gas is going up. Everything's going up in price. But we are so fortunate that Stampin' Up! Is not raising prices and hasn't for quite a while. And if you join my team, you get a discount on all your future purchases. That means you're actually going to be saving money. So when we're spending money other places, it has to come from somewhere. But we can save money on our hobby. So if you're interested in joining my Mary Stampers team, please let me know. I would love to talk to you about that. The deal is $75 plus tax, and the starter kit ships free. And with that kit, you get to choose $125 of product. We don't tell you what to buy, you choose it from any of our catalogs, anything online, and even sale prices count. So you could boost your savings even more by taking advantage of the sale on cardstock, ink pads, and dies from the annual catalog. So it's a great deal. I honestly don't know that we've ever had a better deal on that starter kit. So if you would like to join my team, please let me know. You can join online or give me a call if you want to talk about it. And we'll see if now is the right time for you. Today I decided, since dies in the annual catalog are on sale, I decided I wanted to do a project that focused on one of those dies. So I have chosen the Playful alphabet dies. So I'm going to flip my camera around right now and we're going to get started. Oh, there's Texas popping up. There was something else. Oh, North Dakota, blowy and snowy. Oh, I heard you've got some weather going out there. All right, I'm going to flip my camera around now. And when I do that, I would very much appreciate it if you would share this live video. Okay, I've got my camera up a wee bit higher today, and that's because I'm going to be using the large Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Let me see if I can straighten this out a little bit. So like I said, we're using the Playful Alphabets dies, and I wanted to show you where those are in our annual catalog. Here they are on page 165. They're regularly $34. So 20% off of that, you would subtract $6.80. So what is that? A little less than $27. Great opportunity to get this set. I have used it lots. In fact, I'm using it for another project right now. I'm making some advent calendars, and I'm using it to cut out all of the numbers. So I love that we have letters and numbers in the same set. But as you can see, we have lots and lots of dies to choose from. The Stitch Greenery dies is one of my new favorites. If you don't have the stitched rectangle dies, those certainly are very versatile. I've used the Picture This dies recently. I could go on and on talking about all of these. Here's some good ones right here, Stitched So Sweetly. Oh, Tailored Made tags, awesome. So if you have an interest in any of those dies in the annual catalog, today and tomorrow is the best time to get them because they are 20% off. I see Lynn, who's on my team, saying a great choice for tonight. I'm so happy to hear you say that. We're going to be making, well, it's actually going to be a total of 6 cards. And I will give away all of these 6 cards. So make sure you stay on till the end when I give you our special word that gets you entered into the drawing when you comment with that word. Okay, like I said, things are a little bit different tonight. Before I do that, I'm going to show you something. And I'm actually going to be using this deluxe platform or deluxe foam pad that goes with my Stamparatus. You can use something like this. You can use the small grid papers, the large grid papers, but it helps to have some kind of grid or ruler system. But the grid is going to work best for you. So for this first set of cards, we're going to make pairs of cards tonight. So for this first set, I am using HELLO. This set is nice too because they do have doubles of some of the letters, which makes it nice. So I'm just going to set these on my grid, basically with the same lineup spacing that I want to have in my project. And it is important to line them up, and that's why I suggest you use some grid paper or this deluxe foam mat for the Stamparatus. You could even use the grid right on the Stamparatus if you don't have any grid papers. That would work too. And that looks pretty good. I think I have everything right where I want it. Check that. Oh, looks great. When I have it straight, everything's spaced just the way I want it, I'm going to take some washi tape. If you don't have washi tape, painter's tape would work great. Worst case scenario, some Scotch tape, but you just want to make sure, I'll show you, that you don't have the tape hanging over the edges of the first and last letter. So I just take my washi tape, should be long enough to go across all letters. I pull it kind of taut and, whoops, well, that time didn't work, did it? Let's try that again, Mary, because it works so well. And I think the key is, as soon as I tore this off, I thought, this is not, I didn't tear the tape as long as I usually do. So that is a lesson learned. Make sure your tape is good and long, because otherwise I'm getting my fingers too close to the letters. But better to watch me make a mistake, right, than to do it yourself. That kind of cracks me up, because I've made several samples today doing this. And had no trouble at all. It's probably getting to be my witching hour too. Did lots of running around today, did some work outside, finishing up work in my yard. It was blustery today, warm, but windy in central Ohio. All right, let's try that again. And I'm going to tear off a piece of washi tape that's longer. I like to pull it kind of taut and then just go straight down. All right, that looks pretty good. Before I pick it up, I want to run my finger across it to make sure it's sticking to all letters. Now right here, I want to tear off the ends, and I really don't want my tape hanging beyond the first and last letter. The reason being, when I lay my letters out on the cardstock, I am going to be using this cardstock piece, okay? So sometimes if our washi tape is sticking to our cardstock, even though we might be real careful picking it up, sometimes it will pull up some of the fibers of the paper, and it just doesn't look quite as nice. All right, so then I'm going to set these things aside, switch places, and now it's time for me to run this through my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Now for this part, I do want it straight, but I just eyeball it. You don't really need to measure or anything like that. I think if you eyeball it, it'll work just fine. One thing I want to tell you, because this is white and I am going to be using this whole portion of the cardstock, which is 5 1/4 by 4 inches, I've cut a piece of just copy paper in 4s, and I'm just going to lay that over the top because I don't want any of the markings from my cutting plate to make an impression, number one, or As you can see, like here's some red from other cutting I was doing. If there's any fibers from any of the colored cardstock, I don't want that to get on my white. And I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool. If you have things that ever stick to your cutting plates, just use your Take Your Pick tool. You can pull up the word hello. If any of the letters are still stuck in the die, just go into one of those tiny holes and push it out. Now for this word hello, we don't need, for the letters that make hello, we don't need that center, but we are going to use the center for this piece. So be sure you save the letter, the center of the letter O. So now is when I'm going to show you how I'm going to make 2 cards from these pieces. On the first one, I have a strip of designer series paper. Just need it big enough to fit back there. Mine was actually a scrap, so I'm not going to cut it down. Put some adhesive before and after the word, and then just lay that designer series paper down. And then this is basically my card front. I'm going to stick this center of the O on. You can see I'm using my Take Your Pick tool in a different way. I'm using it, and you'll see me using it more with the letters, just to pick up these small pieces and adhere glue and put it right where I want it. Now I'm going to use some dimensionals. Have any of you taken advantage of the seasonal sale yet? 10% off cardstock. Great time to stock up on cardstock. 15% off ink pads. So if you've got some colors that are missing from your collection, now's a great time to get those. And then of course, some of the dies on our wish list. The one I was thinking about today, and I placed an order for some classes to go, and I added some cardstock to replenish my stock at home for projects. I like to have all the colors on hand. One thing I thought about after is the, I think it's called the spinner die, where you can make, it has like the circle underneath with the window, and you can turn it and see different things through the window. Now for the second card, so there's my first card, super simple, right? And here's my second card. Now my DSP that I chose happens to have these lines through it. They're not perfectly straight, but they are very, very close. So I'm just going to use one of these lines as a guide, and I'm going to lay my letters down right here. Now, a lot of times when I'm using the Playful alphabet dies, I will use the adhesive sheets with my cardstock or my DSP. The reason I didn't this time is because since I'm cutting out the letters from a piece of cardstock that I'll be using later. I didn't want to take the chance of seeing, like, if I just use a piece of that adhesive sheet where I lay the letters, I didn't want to take a chance that I might show through or it might crease around the edges of that. And I didn't want to put it over the whole piece because that would be pretty wasteful. I really don't need it. So that's why. But like when I'm making my Advent calendars and I'm cutting out the letters, numbers, I typically will put those, or I do, I should say, not typically, I do put those pieces of cardstock on adhesive sheets before I cut out the numbers. So it's just, you know, depending on how I'm using the letters and such. Now that looks pretty good. So here's my trick for adhering them. I'm using my, some people call it green glue. It's not green, it's white, but it has the green on the container. But it's our multi-purpose glue. And I'm going to be using the putty end of my take your pick. I'm going to press it down well so that picks it up. Put a little pressure on it when you're pressing down on it so it holds firmly while you're putting the glue on. And I'm just dotting some glue on that O. Place it where I want it and then use my other fingers to hold it in place. Do the same thing with that letter L. I'll move this out of the way. And a lot of times with this glue, if you just squeeze it enough till it starts to come out and then kind of release, you typically have enough on there to just dab it. And that's really all you need. This glue is one of those that a little goes a long way. As my friend Jackie always says, a dot is a lot. She's a retired kindergarten teacher, and that's how she helped her kindergartners working with liquid glue. A dot is a lot. So I always think of that when I'm using the multi-purpose glue, and it really does adhere very well with just a tiny bit. If you get a dot of it on there, just kind of drag the tip through it and spread it that way. And there is my hello. It was real easy for me to adhere the letters. Once again, I'm going to use dimensionals. Ooh, that's a pretty paper on the, or pretty pattern on the back side, isn't it? Especially for the holidays. Do any of you put lights on your house? A few people in my neighborhood already have them on. I have not. I don't put a lot. And my daughters have helped me the last 2 years. So I think I might be doing it this weekend. I don't get on the roof or anything crazy like that since we're doing it ourselves. Just go around the pillars of my front porch, around the garage door, around the front door. But it looks pretty. It's fun. It's something my dad did many years. And there's the second card. So there's 2 quick cards made from some of those letters. Now let's do another set, but instead of doing hello this time, I'm going to do Noel, and we're going to make a Christmas card. This is a magnetic sheet. I buy these from Stampin' Storage. They are kind of pricey, but they're very sturdy. They really last. And I highly recommend them. And especially good for something like this, where there's so many dies in the set. Okay, make sure I have it spelled correctly. I'm gonna, whoops, I've got glue in my fingers. I'll line it up. Just like that. Then it's time for my washi tape. Again, if you don't have washi tape, painter's tape is the next best thing. And then Scotch tape would be the final choice. So tear off the ends on the first and last letters of the word. And then it's time to cut out those letters. Again, I'm using 5 1/4 by 4 inches. You can decrease the size of this if you'd like, especially if you want to add more layers to it. I'm keeping these pretty simple. Sometimes, you know, sometimes the simple cards are very, what's the word? I wouldn't say these are elegant, but simple and what? Impressive, maybe we'll say. Again, I'm going to put over some typing paper because I am using that whole piece of cardstock when I make both sets, make the set of cards. Now, while I have the letters for Noel put together, I'm going to go ahead and cut them out from one more piece of white cardstock. And that will be for my third pair of cards. And on that one, we'll be doing some kind of an alternate. So I'm going to set this here for now. On this piece, again, 5 1/4 by 4 inches. But on this one, I'm turning it to the vertical position, and I'm going to put it about, 1 1/4 inch, 1.5 inches from the bottom, and I want it to be centered left to right. So again, I'm not measuring this, I'm just kind of eyeballing it. And I'd say that looks pretty good. Make sure it's straight on there. Cover it with my copy paper. Once again, thank you to all of those who have shared. I appreciate it very much. You may have seen that we just had our, with our onstage, we had our annual recognition, and I'm real excited to say I reached level 3, 4 being the highest, in all 3 categories: sales, team building, and leadership. And I have ranked number 60 in the United States, and that is out of just over 42,000 demonstrators. So I'm really very proud of myself, and it's very motivating as well. It's rewarding, it's motivating, it's just so nice. All right, so for this next one, I am using, once again, white card bases. The third one is going to be different, but this time it's white card bases again. And I pulled a pretty pattern, festive pattern on Cherry Cobbler, and this is from the Sweet Stockings Designer Series paper. So on this piece, I just need, let me trim some of this off. I took another scrap. I just need it long enough to go across the back of those letters. Add a little adhesive. Whoops. Come on. There we go. On each side of the word, and then layer DSP down, just like that. I will then use some more dimensionals. Oops, where are the ones I just cut? Here. That one in the center. Oops. Got a couple there, but that's all right. Does anybody use dimensionals as much as I do? Almost, I can't say every card I make or every project I make, but nearly all of them use dimensionals. Again, I'm taking that center from the O to use in this negative O. All right, there's Noel. And then on this one, now this one too kind of has lines, so I kind of looked out that way. If you are using a designer series paper that doesn't have any kind of line that you can use as a guide for lining up your letters, or if you just want a little extra assurance, what I would do is use a ruler or something like this. Make sure you've got a straight line across, even width all the way across the bottom. And then just take a pencil and mark a line there. Okay? Just take a pencil and mark the line there. Because after you adhere the letters, if there's any of the pencil marks showing, you can just go back in and erase it. I've got glue on my fingers now, and there we go. They want to stick to my letters. Okay, so I'm going to use the same method. Pick up the letter with my putty end of the take your pick. Place it right where I want it and press it down with my fingers. Same thing with the E. And if I'm making these, I like to make several first, and then we can always add embellishing later. You don't necessarily need embellishing for these cards. I think they make a really nice statement. Even being simple cards. Statement cards, that's what I was trying to think of before. They're simple, but they make a statement. There's my Noel, all set. And now I'm going to, once again, use dimensionals and adhere it to a card base. Jan, isn't that fun, the way the Noel looks? Just like that. So there's another two. And you could add embellishments any way you like. Now let's do one more pair of cards, but this time, instead of using white card bases, I've cut some old olive, I've taken another designer series paper from the Sweet Stockings. That's the one with the dogs and cats and stockings and all the festive things. And this is what I will be using for these two cards. So I've got my Noel there. Oh look, the scrap fits just perfectly. Again, some adhesive on each side of the words. Oops, I got a little close to my end. Let me tuck that under. There we go. Small prints are going to work best for these cards. You could also use our 6x6 designer series paper that comes in the color families and the in color collections. But many of our 12x12 DSPs have really great patterns on the backside, typically with smaller prints that you may be able to use on any of these. All right, dimensionals. Whoops. When you've used all the regular size dimensionals on your sheet, make sure you just quickly cut apart the edges. Snip, snip, snip all the way around. That way you're getting the most adhesive for, oops, this DSP is sticking out a little bit and I think that's going to bug me. So let me just trim some of that off. I think I can do that easily enough and then it won't be bothering me. There, that's better. Nothing's showing now. All right. Now on this, I'm going to again put the Noel, just like on this one. I'm going to go up about, an inch and a half or so. You could also switch out the white cardstock for other colors. Now on this one, because I'm up higher, I am going to check that I've got it straight. And I also want to look and see if I have it pretty well centered. That's about 3/4 of an inch. That looks good. Okay. How many of you have the Take Your Pick tool? This is how I'm using it today, is just one of many uses for it. In fact, I use mine on nearly every project in one way or another. It's one of those things that after you get used to have it and get used to using it in all the different ways, you think, how did I live without that? And as we're finishing up and adding some embellishments to these, I have a few more ideas that I want to share with you. So whoops, what am I doing? So as far as holiday, I got some glue there. As far as holiday words, Noel, joy, merry, M-E-R-R-Y. What else? I can't remember now. I was going to say something. Jesus. You know, you can come up with some fun, festive words to use. When I use hello, make those note cards, I use them just like that as note cards. If I want to send a card to somebody just for no reason, or just to let them know they're on my mind, or perhaps I thought of a fun memory of them, I might send one of the hello cards. Another thing you could put is HB2, number 2, U. HB2U, happy birthday to you. The letters and the number 2, HB2U. That always reminds me of my sister-in-law, because she would use that a lot when she was signing birthday cards or making birthday tags, that sort of thing. So HB2U would be kind of fun, and maybe even add some balloons and some fun things. Also names. For example, if I want to gift some cards to a friend, I might use the letters of their names, like my sister, Joan, Joan, Mary, Mary, from the desk of Mary, whatever. Another thing you can do with these is we have some stamp sets that include words like friend, mom, what else? I know there's more. But you could do hello friend and just stamp that tiny word friend and put it on there. Avis, I love that idea. Avis does happy, and then she adds the birthday to it. I love that, love that. I was thinking of making some of these for my sisters for Christmas. I can say that here because they don't typically watch my Facebook Lives. So it'd be Janet and Joan. And I would probably make them 4 to 6 cards. So I've got 2, 4, 6, maybe make them in different colors, different patterns, that sort of thing. And then we could package them up really nicely, and they make a great gift. Join me on Friday at 2 p.m. and I'm going to show you how to make a wonderful card holder that makes just pretty packaging for your handmade cards when you're giving them as a gift. So that will be this Friday at 2 p.m., okay? So I'm going to go ahead, you know, you can add ribbon, you can add anything you like to these, but I decided for the new Noel that I was going to use these gold gilded gems and put some like that. If you wanted more of a message than just Noel, many of our stamp sets have sentiments that would work perfectly on the inside of these cards. And don't forget, I'm giving away all 6 cards tonight. I was going to do the 3 pairs, but I decided why not spread the love and 6 of you can win. All right, for these, I was thinking of these at first, but I think these silver pearls are a little too small. So then I thought, ooh, I have these, the silver and clear epoxy essentials. I believe these are in the holiday catalog, and I haven't even used them yet. So there are silver ones and there are clear ones. Note that the clear ones can be colored. Oh, I guess I did use a few. Can be colored with any of our Stampin' Blends markers. So you can customize these just like you can. Oh, there's diamond shapes, teardrops, or raindrops, I suppose. Oh, the diamond shapes are kind of cute. Maybe I'll use those. But it's always fun to customize embellishments and ribbons using those Stampin' blends. I do that a lot. Oops, straighten that out. There we go. So that's kind of pretty. Again, simple, but it makes a nice statement. And I'll do the same, whoops, for this card. A pretty bow would be great on here. We've got those gold holly leaves. Also would be another great choice of embellishment. All right. So do you like them better with the bling or without the bling? With or without the bling? And then here we have hello. Now I have some pearls that I pulled out at first. And then I got to thinking, why not use some of these decorative dots? This is part of the same sweet stockings, right? Little sweet little stockings, sweet. And comes with all these decorative mats, decorative dots, excuse me, matte decorative dots. So 4 colors, and they're kind of, you know, arranged in an ombre. So you get various shades of the same color, and there's also 3 different sizes. So super versatile, super fun to use. And I'm going to go ahead and use, oops, come on. Some of these right here. You could even mix and match the colors. Actually, I think I want this one here. I'm going to use all 3 sizes for that card. And I think I'll just do them at the top there. What do you think? Top, just top, or top and bottom? What's your thought on that? Just the top or top and bottom? Whoop, come on, come on. Oh, let me think. No, they're not down. No, they're not down here. We have some new, matte dots coming in the annual catalog, and I believe the colors are white, vanilla, and gray. But honestly, I've used them so much already, and I love them. I absolutely love them. Actually, that one doesn't quite match. These are darker. Let me go with this one. Whoops. There we go. A white bow on these would be pretty. I can't wait to choose the cardstock colors and the patterns I'm going to use to make some note cards for my sisters, Janet and Joan. And they like pink, they like bright colors, so I'm not sure what I'm going to use yet, but I will show you that on Friday when I show you how to make a really cool card folder that will hold, depending on how you embellish them, will hold 4 cards and 4 envelopes. If without embellishments, you may be able to get 6 cards and 6 envelopes in them, but really lots of fun and easy to make. All right, so what do you think of, let me lay these out here differently so you can see them all. So what do you think of today's project? And what are your thoughts on the Playful alphabet dies? I think these are wonderful. Mine are have been used so many times for so many different things. They're also fun to use with gift tags, you know, maybe for birthdays. Spell out the word Ben or Ainsley or Griffin. That's the name of my three littles. So that's what came to me first. You make some cute tags for kids. Great for teacher cards also. You could do thanks. So many different things. And of course, I love that it has the letters and it's got the hashtag symbol and all kinds of extras all in one set. And again, this is regularly $34, but it's 20% off through Thursday, November 18th. Super versatile, super fun, and it's a great price to grab those. All right.